So my name is Reisha, and as Godfrey said, I am an artist. I am from the Commonwealth of Dominica, which is a small but beautiful island in the Caribbean, and not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. Dominica is rich in culture, definitely a fusion of African culture, indigenous Kalinago culture, as well as the influences from Europe, the English and the French. And so because of all of that, our culture is very, very vibrant. You said you wanted to know all sorts of things. So I guess in terms of food, our national dish is the callaloo. So callaloo soup, we use callaloo leaves, and we add green banana and dumpling and yams and peppers and seasonings. And this dish is enjoyed by many, many people. And in terms of music, oh my gosh, there's so many genres of music that Dominicans enjoy. There's calypso, there's bouillon, there's soca, there's jingping, which is more of our traditional music. Very, very deep-rooted, again, in African culture. Some of the dances, like the bele, which is a fertility dance, which, you know, we haven't gotten to this part yet, but being in Tanzania, you know, I see so many similarities, and it's just been an overall great experience being able to link those similarities in terms of culture.
We have the real 96 degrees, the wonderful smile on the faces of the people, delicious foods and the living is sweet, sweet, sweet Dominica. I will love you forever. Sweet, sweet, sweet Dominica.
I would definitely say the popular music in Dominica now is bouillon. Again, very interesting. The word bouillon itself means everything, a little bit of everything. And so bouillon is an original genre created in Dominica that has all the influences that I mentioned earlier. But the major influence is the African culture. So very upbeat, very in terms of percussion, a lot of percussion, and it's storytelling essentially. So the bouillon songs that we have right now, you know, we have many different artists. One of my favorites is definitely Signal Band, and you know, they've really taken storytelling within the bouillon music to a next level, and it's you know, bouillon is now trickling into the other Caribbean islands and even into Toronto and in the States. You know, I'm meeting people who now recognize what bouillon is. I'm sharing the music and people are like, oh, I've heard that song before. You know, so Dominica, we're small, but our culture it's making waves, and it's getting out there for everybody to enjoy. So I don't know much about Tanzanian music specifically, but I have, you know, asked my Tanzanian friends to play me some music, and I have enjoyed it thoroughly. I've been out to some parties here, and the music is just phenomenal. And coming from a Caribbean island, again, I can hear some of our own music in the music that I'm hearing here. So, you know, when I talk about being able to link the cultures, I'm having this experience over and over again through the food, through the music, through the art, and sometimes I struggle to find the words to really describe it, because it's so amazing. It's so amazing how the culture has permeated into, you know, like across the world. And I kid you not, I would hear some of the music here and be like, wait, that sounds just like a Dominican song.
Ninapokuletea ujumbe huu nia yangu nataka nawe ufanikiwe haba na haba ujaza kibaba juhudi ufanya ndoto iwe. Vipi mzee wa kazi meseniacha kuzima mziki weka tucheze singeli baria. Jamani. Weka baria. Weka matia chini kwa chini mwendo singeli. Weka matia chini kwa chini cheza singeli. Weka matia chini kwa chini mwendo singeli. Weka matia chini kwa chini cheza singeli.
So I know there's a genre of music in Tanzania called singeli, which is very, very similar to buyo. You know, the rhythm of the music and as well as the way that, you know, the people dance to the music. Very, very upbeat, very, very, you know, like, I describe it as music when you hear it, you cannot not move. So again, very, very, very similar. And you know, I felt really at home listening to singeli music. And you said in terms of the food, so I mentioned kalalu, which is just one of the many, many dishes that we prepare and enjoy as Dominicans. So like I said, the kalalu, we use coconut milk as the base, and you use your kalalu leaves or spinach leaves, and then you have your ground provisions. So you have your dashin or taro, then you have your yams, whether it's white yams, yellow yams. Then you add your peppers, you know, you make sure you saute it, you get that flavor in, and you mix it in with the coconut milk, and then you have you either use crab meat in your kalalu. Most people do that, but you can kind of mix it however you want, whatever variation, what works for you. And then in terms of other foods, some very, I guess, popular foods we have at home is our bakes and codfish. And the bakes is basically like a fried dumpling, I guess. It's you mix your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your flour, and then you add your water, your salt, and you roll it up and you knead it, and then you fry it. And you can slice that open and you can put in your codfish, or you can put in cheese or tuna, whatever is your taste for the day. But yeah, those are a few things, a few foods that we enjoy. When we talk about marriage in Dominica, you know, we are a Christian country predominantly, and so most of our weddings look like a traditional Western wedding. So usually it happens in church. The marriages or the bride and groom choose each other. It's not a pre-arranged marriage. So I guess it's called a love marriage. And so most people get married in church. Both families come together, and then it's a big celebration. After that, it's a big party, and you know, community is everything in Dominica. So you often find that weddings are on the bigger side, or even if it's not the wedding ceremony itself, but the party is big. The community is invited. They come out, they support, they want to give their, you know, best regards to the newlywed couple. And more and more we're seeing actually some of our traditional wear incorporated into the wedding dresses and the design of the wedding, the church, the halls, and the madras is the fabric used in our national wear. Yeah, so now you have brides incorporating that madras fabric into their white wedding dresses, and it's truly lovely. What do you do in Dominica? There's lots and lots and lots to do in Dominica. First of all, let me just say that Dominica is not your typical tourist destination. If you're looking for white sand beaches and resorts where you can stay all day, Dominica is not for you. We're filled with adventure, and we like our tourists to come and enjoy all of that adventure. So Dominica is a very mountainous island. It is formed on volcanic or from volcanic activity, and so that creates a wide range of different terrains. So like I mentioned, lots of mountains, so lots of hiking. We have a Waitipubuli Trail, which spans the entire island. So if you complete that trail, and it's made up of 12 segments, then you've basically trekked across the entire island. It is not for the faint of heart. I've only done 3 of the segments myself, and I hope to complete the rest one day. But if you are into hiking, I would highly, highly recommend that. Dominica is also the land of 365 rivers, so we joke that we have a river for every day of the year, which also means, in combination with our mountains, we have luscious, luscious, gorgeous waterfalls. So very picturesque, very breathtaking. Again, definitely something that you have to enjoy. Because of our volcanic makeup, Dominica is also home to the 2nd largest boiling lake in the world. Again, if you are up for adventure, definitely take that 4-hour hike up the mountain to see the boiling lake. And the hike runs through the Valley of Desolation. So essentially, the volcanic activity, which is happening very, very, very deep into the earth, is heating the water of that lake, and so it boils. So don't fall in. And along the way, and in our valley area, we have a lot of natural hot springs and a lot of natural hot pools. The sulfuric acid that is found in the water and in the soil is very, very good for your skin. I would highly recommend Champagne Beach, which is a very popular snorkeling destination in Dominica. Again, the volcanic activity warms the water, and while you're snorkeling or diving, you see the bubbles rise up like you're in a champagne glass. You definitely don't want to miss that. And if you are a beach lover, we still do have lots of beaches, and they are black sand beaches, very beautiful. So check it out. Lots and lots and lots to do in Dominica. So how did I learn about Tanzania? How did I get here? In school in Dominica, we learned about the African countries, and learning about Africa on a whole. I've always wanted to visit the continent. I've always wanted to visit the motherland. And I always thought it would be sometime in the future. And I came across this opportunity where I was able to exchange my skills for room and board at this hostel looking for an artist. And it was in Tanzania. And so I guess I didn't actually choose Tanzania. Tanzania chose me. And so I'm here. Like I said, I've always wanted to visit Africa. I didn't have like a number one country that I wanted to visit first or anything, but Tanzania is my first. I guess the first thing you learn in Swahili is mambo, poa. So that kind of means what's up, and you're saying that I'm good, I'm fine. My overall experience in Tanzania, what an absolutely beautiful country. I think for me, the original or the first feeling I get is a sense of honor to be on this land, to be on the land of my ancestors, to experience this place and to see people who look like me, to see people who are, I guess, steeped in their original culture. And for me, that was a big thing. You know, it is beautiful to have a mix of cultures, and wherever you go, you do get that. But being in Africa, there's something about, you know, that original culture being the main culture and being so present, and you can see it. You walk through Tanzania and you see the culture that is very, very present, very, very vivid. And I guess I've also visited Zanzibar, which is an island, or I learned an archipelago of the mainland of Tanzania, and that as well is very beautiful. Again, very, very rich in culture, and I learned so much about the influences there as well, from the Oman people, the Indians, the British, and how all of that has influenced architecture, as well as the idea of community of Muslims, Christians, and Islamic people living all in one space on one island and being in community together. It is very, what I got from my tour of Stone Town is that peace and unity is a very, very big theme there. Artist, a visual artist to be specific. I paint using acrylic paint, and that is my passion. I've always been a creative person. As a child, I would, you know, make welcome home cards from scratch for my parents whenever they were away, and welcome back banners to put up outside the house when they get back. You know, and I definitely get my creativity from my mom. And I was always interested in painting, but I never got a chance to go to art class. But when I moved to Canada 11 years ago now, I went to an event called a Sip and Paint. So a friend of mine took me out, and we did this instructional painting essentially, and I absolutely loved it. And I realized that it was something that I could do on my own. So I went out to the dollar store and got the cheapest paint supplies ever, and I started doing it on my own. And I realized that this is something that I absolutely loved. So I kept working at it, and I've been painting ever since. So this is about seven years now that I've been painting. So in terms of the type of art that I do, I will say for a very long time I didn't have a specific type of art that I did. Coming from Dominica, I'm a nature lover, and so I started with painting what I loved, nature. And you know, I would paint landscapes and seascapes, different nature pieces, and I really, really enjoyed that. And then I tried my first portrait, which was a struggle, but it definitely helped me grow in my art. And then I really, really enjoyed painting the hair. And I realized that this was something that I had a great interest in. I've always enjoyed combing my own hair, and I've always been very intrigued and fascinated with the versatility of black hair. And so through my art, I started representing that and celebrating that. And over time, I've grown in my work. I've grown within my skill set, and I've come to form a style that is uniquely mine. And I use hot glue to showcase the coils, kinks, and curls in our beautiful black hair. And through my art, I help people celebrate black hair, recognize black hair, and also understand the meaning behind our black hair and how much of an identity piece it is for us as black people. You know, as hair has been a form of so many different things. Through African cultures, it's been a form of art, it's been a form of identity, it's been a form of resistance for people of African descent in the Caribbean, through the movements, the Black rights movements in America. Hair has been such a, I think, important part of who we are, and has so many different messages and meanings. And I think, unfortunately, in today's modern Western culture, we've forgotten a lot of that meaning. It has been completely watered down, and because of colonialism, we've carried this shame when it comes to our hair. And that's definitely something that I want to play a part. I know I'm one person, but art can be influential. So I want to play my part in helping to dismantle the negative associations with black hair and replace that with meaning and positivity and the beauty of our black hair, its versatility, and how amazing it is. So that's really what my art embodies, or my main form of art. This is also my art in the background. So as you can see, I do quite a few different things. So this is a mural piece, and in this piece, I really captured what the client wanted. She wanted something that was abstract but cute, and this is supposed to be, this is going to be like a workspace for people who come to this hostel and still want to work remotely. And so it has this calming but still tropical vibe, but you can see from the colors, we're going with softer colors, and it's very abstract, so you can make whatever it is you want out of it. I also do the other piece that we'll show later. The other mural, which is downstairs, is a vibrant tropical theme, and you can see the difference between the two. The vibrant tropical theme has very sharp, bold colors, very happy, whereas this one is more of a soothing, calm kind of vibe. So I mentioned earlier some of, I guess, the art that is unique to me, that has my own style, where I use the hot glue to depict the hair. And so I will show you some of these. So you can see from the picture that the hair itself is textured, and I've chosen a black background, even if she has black hair, again to emphasize the texture in there. And my paintings also, these figurative portraits, they don't have a lot of facial features, primarily because I want to really emphasize the idea that black hair is such a big form of identity. Then we have this one, again, very minimal features. You have the eyes closed, and then you have the curls. So in this one, I've added some gray or silver in my hot glue. So she has black silver hair. And this one, she has gold hair, and it really pops against the black background. And then we have a guy who has locks and his beard. So these sections are also done with hot glue against that black background. So, yeah. Okay, so my message, I mean, honestly, I live my life based on the principle of love. I believe that we are in this world and we are exposed to so much, and a lot of times we don't have a choice as to the things that we're exposed to, the things that we experience. But what we do have a choice about is how we process that and put back into the world. So, you know, with all of the things that we experience, my message would be whatever you do, whatever you say, do it and say it with love. You know, and I guess specifically through my art, I would say the message through my art is celebrating who we are, celebrating us, and inviting other people to celebrate us as well, because we are worth celebrating. Our Black history, our Black culture, our Blackness is formidable, and it is worth celebrating. And I guess to end off, I can let you know where to find me. So my art name is ReiCreations Art, and you can find me on all social media platforms using that same tag, ReiCreations Art, as well as on my website, ReiCreationsArt.com. And to end off, Godfrey asked me to show you my flag, and I always have my flag with me because I always represent Dominica to the world here in Tanzania. It's crazy, but I've had such a great time, such an amazing experience. I've met so many wonderful people from Tanzania and from all over the world. I actually have a list of countries that the people I've met are from, and that list keeps getting longer and longer every day. So Dominica to the world. And we'll end off with one of my favorite bouillon songs from Signal Band, which is the band I mentioned earlier. And the title of that song is I'll Be There For You, and they talk about his love for Dominica, and even if he's away from home, you know, he'll always come back home to celebrate culture, celebrate carnival, celebrate his people. Yeah, so thank you again, and here's the bouillon track from Dominica.
I hear people say the ticket price way too high, so they not going home, but not me. Even if it's me alone, I will take a